Chapter 10. The Coming of Arthur. Over 1500 years ago, King Arthur ruled Britain. Britain then was split into little kingdoms with their rulers constantly going to war with each other. During these troubled times, Arthur's wife, Queen Igraine, gave birth to a son. They named him Arthur. He was a beautiful baby, strong and fair, with blue eyes and golden hair. However, King Arthur had many enemies. The court was not a safe place to bring up the baby. When Arthur was 3 days old, Merlin, the court magician, arrived at the king's castle, and Arthur handed over the baby to him. Merlin gave the baby to Sir Ector, a most trusted knight. Sir Ector brought up Arthur as his own son. He and Kay, Sir Ector's son, grew up as brothers. Soon after, old King Arthur died. Chaos spread in the kingdom of Britain as knight fought knight and baron fought baron. 15 years passed thus. Merlin, the magician, came back with a plan. He gathered together all the knights and barons of England and invited them to London to attend a joust. Merlin also asked the Archbishop of Canterbury to help him. The Archbishop gathered all the visiting noblemen in the church. There he declared that he would shortly present before them the man who would be the next king of Britain. As the knights trooped out of the church, they saw before them a block of marble with a sword set into it. On its hilt was etched in letters of gold, "Whosoever pulls out this sword from the stone will be the rightful king of Britain." Among all the visiting knights was Sir Ector. He had come to London accompanied by Kay and Arthur. The two young men were eagerly waiting for the joust. Suddenly, Kay exclaimed,
"Alas, I have forgotten my sword. Arthur, would you fetch it for me?"
Arthur wheeled his horse around and galloped towards their lodgings. Suddenly he came to a halt. There, staring at him, was the gleaming hilt of a sword, its blade set deep into a block of marble. Arthur dismounted. He grasped the handle of the sword. It came away in his hands, and he rode towards the jousting grounds. Sir Ector, seeing the sword with Kay, recognized it.
"Where did you get this sword from?"
he asked.
"I had forgotten my sword at the lodging house. Arthur was kind enough to bring me this." "Arthur, where did you get this sword?"
inquired Sir Ector.
"Somebody had set this in a stone in the churchyard. I pulled it out,"
replied Arthur. Immediately, Sir Ector knelt before Arthur. Kay looked on in amazement. Arthur was surprised. Just then, Merlin appeared. In a glance, he took in the whole scene.
"Arthur is king of all England,"
he declared. But the knights and barons refused to accept Arthur as their king. Merlin called Arthur.
"Put the sword back in the stone,"
he ordered. He then invited all the knights and barons to try and draw the sword. One after the other, they all tried. The sword stayed firm within the stone. Merlin called Arthur. The large crowd watched spellbound as Arthur stepped forward. He pulled the sword out with ease. He held it aloft for all to see. The crowd roared out,
"Long live King Arthur! Long live the kingdom!"
Arthur became a powerful king. He defeated his enemies and united the country. He gathered a group of knights who were the bravest, the most honest, and the most loyal. They were called the Knights of the Round Table. The king and his knights traveled to far-off places to help people in distress.